Charlotte's Web, How a Girl Paved the Way for Cannabis to be Legalized, the CBD Movement. Now, most of you may not know, who Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web is these 7 brothers, and these 7 brothers are the leaders of the CBD movement. Have you ever heard of CBD? It's cannabidiol. For most people in the know, CBD is everywhere. You probably heard about marijuana, but you don't know what CBD is. Now, this is really, there's a lot of differences because it's a controversial topic. So I'd like you to listen into it. This is a 2013 TEDx video of Josh Stanley, one of the brothers, one of the 7 brothers. This is a surprising story of medical marijuana and pediatric epilepsy. Josh and his brothers developed a non-psychoactive strain of marijuana, which drastically reduces seizures for many epileptic patients in Colorado. With millions facing life-threatening illnesses, Josh outlined the hurdle needed to effect social change, especially for those who desperately need revolutionary medicine. There's a lot of videos if you would only want yourself to learn more. How 7 brothers became the pioneers in hemp-based CBD. Weed, the CBD secret is out, a CNN special report by Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Of course, TEDx, CNN documentaries. This is the article that started a huge global explosion and how the CBD movement started. This article is not even right. This marijuana is clickbait because what you'll know is that it was CBD or cannabidiol that stopped the child's severe seizures. Now, if you are somebody with if you're a parent and you have a 5-year-old kid with about 300 seizures in a week, about 3 seizures in an hour, they can't sleep, and that's happening every day for the last 5 years of your life, you would do whatever it takes so that you can fix this epilepsy of your daughter. Now, this is actually a documentary by Dr. Sanjay Gupta. The cannabis industry pays tribute to Charlotte Fiji. Charlotte Fiji, unfortunately, around April 10, was actually diagnosed with COVID-19. But let me tell you what she did for the entire CBD industry. Charlotte Web's founders, one of the founders, Jared Stanley, the Stanley brothers, you could check these videos. Charlotte's Web medical cannabis, soon to be widely available to Colorado children. Production expands for Charlotte's Web to be more widely available. So these pictures would show you, check out these videos. Behind the smoke screen of medical cannabis, this is an Israel talk of doctors talking about the benefits when they tried to study. In fact, in one of his TEDx documentary or video, he said from 1850 to 1937, cannabis was used as a prime medicine for more than 100 separate illnesses or diseases in US pharmacopoeia. You can see a lot of people talking about the demystification of the endocannabinoid system, the benefits of medical marijuana, the truth about legalizing cannabis. And autistic people trying out CBD oil, reducing their anxiety attacks. And so there are people, science insiders, they explain everything from anxiety to insomnia to muscle pain. So you've got a lot of videos. Mara Gordon talks about it in Palo Alto, how to separate the science from hype. Everybody starts with the controversial negatives with these types of companies, because before they try to study, they already have a notion. Just like maybe reopening, when you look at the cartoons, there is truth in the fact that, of course, it's like going to a beach and then there are still sharks and you could potentially die. But let's try to separate the facts. How can we recover? How can we reopen? And in the same case, when you try to study cannabis, try to learn if you had chronic pain, if you have an epilepsy or medical seizures, would you try to read on science rather than opinion? So there's a lot of processes, and that's why I started my quote with to replace your fear with curiosity. This is actually a very good TED Talk, how legal pot became the new gay marriage, how it became legalized. This is Charlotte Fiji. She inspired the entire CBD movement. Charlotte Fiji was a child with catastrophic type of epilepsy. Unfortunately, she passed away Tuesday at age 13. She was recently hospitalized due to pneumonia, breathing problems, and seizures. She was probably a likely case of COVID-19. Charlotte now is no longer suffering. She's seizure-free forever. Thank you so much for all of your love. Charlotte became a symbol of the possibility of CBD. She was, her story was done in a documentary in CNN's Weed. In the film, Charlotte was shown to be a playful child, overcame horrific seizures when quelled with Charlotte's Web, a marijuana strain named in her honor. Charlotte had Dravet syndrome, a rare form of epilepsy which was not controlled by medication. The Stanley brothers, which were marijuana growers in Colorado, tried to understand how to, crossbreeding a strain of marijuana high in CBD and low in THC, which is psychoactive ingredient. And after Charlotte began taking CBD oil, the seizures were gone. Now, if you really want to study, you can check in Wikipedia. CBD means cannabidiol. We have to define the difference between CBD and THC. THC is the one that gets you high. CBD does not have that psychoactive high, and CBDs and everything that Charlotte Web produces are all for medical use. It's called medical marijuana, containing less than 0.3% THC. So this, if you're a hippie, you'll be disappointed because CBD will not give you a high. There's of course a lot of medical uses and evidences right now supporting that Charlotte's Web helps people with epilepsy to have seizure-free forever, or seizure-free. You can look up the articles, but this is something that I want you to, I want to read. Inspiring is a lacking word. As are courageous and vivacious and strong and beautiful, she was divine. She grew, cultivated by community, protected by love, demanding that the world witness her suffering so that they might find a solution. She rose every day, awakening others with her courage and with a smile, infecting your spirit at the cellular level. I think that if you were somebody who had a child, if you had a virus, you would do anything to help your child. So Charlotte Web became the market leader in the production and distribution of innovative hemp-derived cannabidiol wellness products, founded by that mission to save the girl, including CBD. They now have a full spectrum of phytocannabinoids, including CBD, terpenes, flavonoids. Their product categories are CBD oil tinctures, CBD capsules, CBD topicals, as well as CBD pet products. They're the #1 brand by market share. They've got more than 11,000 retail locations. Now it's 15,000 after acquiring Abacus Health, which is a news article just recently released. They have produced in 2019 2.34 million pounds, and they've got 862 acres planted for 2019. It's listed in the Toronto Stock Exchange at about 742. For those who are in this in our inner circle, we gave a buy on Charlotte's Web at about 6. So we're up about 20% since Friday, since a week. Yeah. So Charlotte's Web history. So you could see that 2011, the Stanley brothers were developing the hemp genetics that will become the basis of Charlotte's Web. 2012 was the time that Paige Fiji, Charlotte's mother, contacted people who knew what an alternative medicine for her 5-year-old daughter was. Of course, the global media exploded with Sanjay Gupta revealing that how the Charlotte Web product essentially helped this child which paved the way for a lot of bills to become accepted, from the Farm Bill 2014, legalizing the use of medical cannabis. And finally, the IPO started just 2 years ago, Charlotte's Web IPO 2018. So when we talk about cannabis, you have to understand there are two major groups. There's CBD, which is the medical benefits, non-psychoactive. It doesn't give you a high. It's purely the medical benefits. Now, of course, this is the one that you probably have been looking at when you're watching movies. THC, this is the one that gives you a psychoactive drug. This is the one that does you high. It's called tetrahydrocannabinol. So they look the same, but they're not the same. So let's shed light on all the incredible and controversial plants. Hemp and marijuana are both cannabis, and they contain phytocannabinoids. Phyto means plant. Humans and mammals produce what are known as endocannabinoids. Endo means within. So these compounds are a key player in your normal immune and central nervous system function. Hemp's phytocannabinoids work with our endocannabinoid system, which is a vasoreceptor system helping support homeostasis and health. Now, marijuana has greater than 0.3% THC. So this is the only phytocannabinoid that gets you high. Hemp has less than 0.3% THC and is not psychoactive. So marijuana is most often associated with THC, and hemp extract is often associated with CBD, a health and wellness phytocannabinoid. So you have to understand that when you read articles such as marijuana helps this child's seizure, that's wrong. Because this wasn't marijuana. This was hemp. This was CBD. That was just a clickbait title so that you could assume that, hey, marijuana can help, but actually not. It's hemp. It's CBD. So these are most common questions. Are hemp seed oil and CW hemp extract oil the same thing? No. Does hemp seed oil contain similar amounts with hemp extract oil? No. Are they both made from the same plant? No. Is Charlotte's Web hemp extract oil made from the whole plant? Yes. So one of the things, in order to shape up your cannabis understanding, I think you'd have to go to this, Cannabis 101. So cannabis is a plant. It's a genus of a flowering plant in the family Cannabicaceae. Marijuana is the specific flowering buds and leaves of the cannabis plant. Now, more than just CBD, let's talk about Charlotte Web. Charlotte Web contains more than just cannabidiol. It has, from the whole plant, they extract as many beneficial compounds in CBD as much as possible. So inside that extract oil, you've got over 80 cannabinoids, and that can be extracted from hemp. These are a group of fatty compounds found in hemp, produced by other plants and your human body. These are key players in your own immune system. Now, these are the more beneficial compounds. Flavonoids are a group of phytonutrients serving as cell messengers with their own health-promoting benefits. Terpenes bind to receptors in the human body, carrying a variety of health benefits. Both are found in our whole plant CBD extract. All of these compounds work together, building on their individual strengths. Name this process the entourage effect, which means that the whole CBD extract provides you more health benefits. Just so you know, this is what a CBD product looks like. Hemp seed oil is used to help support calm focus recovery from exercise-induced inflammation and more. So let's say you've got chronic pain, back pain, you need muscle pain relief. These are useful for you. Hemp seed oil is rich in omega fatty acids containing low levels of CBD or none at all. So these are topical. You don't eat it, you just apply it to your skin. Now, the key takeaways are hemp extract, like Charlotte's Web, is rich in phytocannabinoids, which will help you from exercise-induced inflammation. And you can use it for cooking, beauty products, biofuel source. Hemp extract is made from the whole plant, while hemp seed oil is made from the seeds. There's a lot of CBD products out there. The CBD does not come from marijuana. It comes from hemp plants. While hemp and marijuana are relatives, they are cousins, so they're not even siblings. They're very far from each other. Hemp contains nothing more than 0.3% of THC, which is the psychoactive drug that gets you high. Hemp has higher levels of CBD, helping human bodies maintain the health and overall wellness. So CBD gains popularity due to the health routine supporting the cellular and molecular health. So you've got a lot of support for CBD products. This is from the website. Charlotte's Web was founded in 2013. And that, as they said, it was not started as a company. It was started as a mission. Because of the popularity and the extreme, the extreme story was shared and became viral, many millions got happy. There's proof that Charlotte's Web helps their children. That's why the company finally went IPO 5 years after, which was 2018. So they didn't start the company to sell products. They were people who believed in helping the child, and that help became a long way to starting this company. Now, CBD is the #1 brand in the total hemp-derived CBD market. Revenue growth is 36%. You can see that their revenues went from $14 million to about $95 million last year. So that's a strong, more than about times 6, diba? 14 times 7, sorry, almost times 7, 15 times 6. Yeah, times 6, okay? So in the recent quarter, which was just May 14, organic consolidated revenue was about $21 million. They had 70% gross margin. They still have losses of about $5.7 million, but they already have cash. They also have working capital of about $115 million. They generally sell direct to consumer through their website. So they're an e-commerce company. Although, as you heard me a while ago say, they do have 11,000 retail stores. Now nearly 12,000 retail doors. They even have more now with an acquisition. It's about more than 15,000 stores. So 75% of their business is actually D2C, direct to consumer. Sorry, not 75%, it's 66. 66% or 2/3 of their revenue comes from direct to consumer sales. This increased 29%, while their business to business sales declined 32% because the businesses were closed. Therefore, they can't sell those CBD products. They also signed their first national pet retailer. They also have engaged with JP Morgan for commercial banking services, and they got $10 million line of credit extendable to $20 million. Now, as you could see, it's a COVID time, but JP Morgan was happy to lend money to them, which shows you that big banks believe in the CBD movement. This is your balance sheet. You could see that they are very strong. Current market cap as of May 14 was about $450 million USA. Got a lot of assets with 190, almost half of their, about 45% of their market cap was fully in cash. And then small liabilities, a lot of shareholder equity. Brand strength, definitely. #1, satisfaction. Customers are intending to repurchase. Very loyal customers. They're even willing to recommend it to their friends. Now, these are some of their original products. You've got gummies, which you can infuse and eat like a dietary supplement. These were their original portfolios, which were topical, which were oil. They have canine products for pets. So these were newly introduced 2019. What's the advantage? Of course, everything is vertically integrated. They have their own proprietary method for those oil, so it's genetics. They cultivate partnerships, they harvest, they extract, produce, and then they warehouse and distribute. So the fact that they have 70% gross margin tells you a lot about their cost. They have over 50% crop acres certified organic with remainder transitioning. So they have a lot of advantages even in the manufacturing processes. Now, take a look at the management. The CEO, Deany Eisner. So the brothers are more of the, the brothers like Jared Stanley, they wanted to be more on the R&D side. So they're on the cultivation. They hired executives to handle the management and distribution of the products. And take a look at how great the CEOs who defended their products are. You've got the CEO of Kellogg's, Procter & Gamble, Kraft, Johnson & Johnson, which is Deany Eisner. That's your CEO. She came from those products, which is consumer. You could say those are consumer, FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. So just so you know, CBD can be eaten as well. So you can really put it in all of your food. That's why you can cook with it. Russ Hammer, CFO, came from Caloris Brands, Orbitz, Crocs, Motorola. David Panther comes from, their chief operating officer comes from Estee Lauder, Campbell, Psycho Healthcare, Luxottica Retail. Chief customer officer comes from Kellogg's, Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson, Pharmavite, Whitewave. Just by looking in their key management operators, you could say that this cannabis company or medical cannabis company is more FMCG / medical than your typical hippie company, or in your mind, like your, whatever your thoughts are on this kind of movement. One of the reasons why Charlotte's Web is an important company is that they have legitimized science and data. So as of February 2020, they located, in Hoffman Woodward Medical Research in Buffalo, New York, and in Boulder, Colorado. So they also have been tapping into campuses across New York in order to have a scientific and clinically data-driven approach. They have self-formulations and self-defined proprietary hemp plants so that it passes all the standards for clinical research.
Hello, nasa Zoom meeting ako. May meeting ako.
Okay, sige.
Nasa meeting ako.
I'll still talk.
Nasa meeting ako.
Sure. So the advantages of CBD is that it's tested, it's certified, and safe. That's why a lot of customers love Charlotte's Web. It's the #1 in Canada, and it's also now distributed in USA. They have been expanding and automating. As I said, they have a lot of production in-house, and they are expanding through the help of the IPO. They've been evolving. They have a lot of e-commerce sites and want to increase their capability for these e-commerce sites. Customers are buying right now on their website, and the rest are going through more than 15,000 stores. So $95 million, that's a strong growth. And of course, the JP Morgan engagement. This news actually came out just 2 days ago. The US Patent Office awarded them Charlotte Web 1 AS1. The more patents that Charlotte's Web has, it actually creates that, because if you notice, of course, CBD is now a movement. So a lot of medical practitioners are studying all the ways that hemp can really help a lot of people with seizures. So this patent is a good thing so that nobody can just copy their ingredients and formulations. This week also, I think not just this week, I think this week. So they also acquired Abacus Health. They're finished their acquisition. That's why Abacus Health went up 9%. This is an all-in stock deal, meaning Abacus Health products will also have Charlotte Web products. They will be combined, so it's a merger, stock per stock, and so a lot of people are happy. Abacus Health is a smaller company, but it has about $40 million, and it's also a leader when it comes to wellness and health products. So investors need to watch more details of this acquisition. Charlotte's Web, of course, will reopen. Their retailers are reopening. I think Charlotte's Web is available in Kroger supermarket, which has a lot of more than 2,000 stores abroad in USA. Abacus Health also a lot of stores, partnerships. So that's a good thing. Of course, you want the finalization of the FDA regulation related to their product. So the patent is a good thing. The fact that they have the patent means that FDA will regulate all of their products. It's like Food Safety Board. So they have to be to pass all these clinical trials. And I think Charlotte Web has all these good things to happen for them. Now, of course, for those chartists out there, Charlotte Web, we started buying at 6. I think that any drop at about 650 is a good thing. Although, if you're somebody who's, this is the first time you've heard of Charlotte's Web, take a look at this company. It trades in Toronto Stock Exchange. You have to have an interactive brokers. Well, I'm not sure if whatever interface you're using. So me personally, I use interactive brokers platform. It allows me to trade globally, so I can get Canadian stocks, US stocks, Hong Kong stocks, any Japanese stock, anything really. But typically, I really need to like a company before I buy into it. So Charlotte's Web, I've been hearing about this company for a while. So actually it bottomed at about $4, went as high as 7, consolidated for a bit. And then after earnings and a lot of news this week really increased the price. And just so you know, since you know that 2018 was the IPO, if you're buying even at $7, it's actually lower than the IPO of about 10. So from 10, it went to 34, went all-time low to about $4. And I think even from just charting, you can probably sell near $10. So it has decent upside from a trading. And if you want to invest, of course, this is up to you. You need to open your own account. IBKR, Interactive Brokers, is one of the companies that allows you to trade internationally. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't care what brokerage firm you use. I just shared what I use, that's all. Okay, there's also a lot of news in the cannabis movement, the CBD. Of course, you've probably heard about this company, Aurora Cannabis. Aurora Cannabis, ACB, has acquired a CBD company, Reliva. That was 1 day ago. Canada's Aurora Cannabis jumps into the US, buying Reliva, a producer of lotions and nutritional gummy, Canada's Aurora Cannabis surged after making a CBD deal to enter the lucrative US market. That's May 20. They bought it. It's also a stock-for-stock deal. The Canadian pod sold about 12,700 kilos of cannabis in the third quarter, 39% more than a year earlier. The sales spike was an essential service in Canada and USA in several provinces. So actually, even the COVID lockdown, people could buy these cannabis products, and COVID-19 lockdown actually saw an increase in sales for pot. So it actually helped pot stocks after the earnings report. So it includes vapes, edible gummies, chocolates, beverages, and they're saying that they could be profitable by next year. So Aurora wants to spend some money for your capex. Actually, when they reported earnings, Aurora was about 6. The next day it soared 67%, from 6 to 20 in 3 days. Aurora Cannabis share showed some life, nearly 70% the day after the company beat expectations. Yeah, so you'll see a lot of news about it. Like, it was published everywhere, from Market Watch, anything really. Barron's has it, like Aurora Cannabis jump into the US. Just so you know the extent of the increase as well, these past few days, so after earnings really was the catalyst for Aurora Cannabis. When I saw the Aurora Cannabis, I actually tweeted it that, oh my God, it was 9.50. The next day it was 19. So parang part of me was saying, oh my God, why didn't I buy ACD? Why did I buy Charlotte's Web? That day when ACB reported earnings, I bought Charlotte's Web because I was more a believer of the medical cannabis market. Either way, it's surging on the news of the Reliva. So that's a strong move for ACB. And just so for all the chartists out there, this is what the chart looks like. It's the first strong month for ACB. Used to trade in the hype to as much as 150, fell all the way to about $5. I don't know, from a charting perspective, you could see that 12 is now the new support. Your resistance would be this $20. Note that this, you know, I don't care about your, you know, I don't talk about advice. This is just information purposes only. Okay, this is, you could go to Wikipedia. Who is Aurora? Aurora is trading on the New York Stock Exchange, also in Toronto. So Charlotte's Web trades only in Canada, so in Toronto Stock Exchange. So everyone buying Charlotte's Web has to have Canadian dollars. So you have to convert dollar to Canadian for that. But ACB is trading in US, New York Stock Exchange. That's their ticker. This is the second largest company in the world by market cap after CGC, which is also a Canadian company. So you could see that the legalization of cannabis is really prevalent in Canada, in USA, and yeah, so those two countries so far. After the legalization in Canada, they got into those IPOs. Now, I think this is important for you to know, the 3 arguments why marijuana should stay illegal. You know, a lot of people are still saying that you have to understand that CBD, although CBD and marijuana are not the same, it could be a gateway drug for some people who are heavily, how should I say this? Some people, this could be a gateway drug. It's kind of like alcohol. Alcohol is available, or tobacco. Even if these things are not good for your health, they're legal. So a lot of people are discussing about the ramifications of CBD products being legal. Yun, we're gonna end this with this quote again. You replace fear of the unknown with curiosity. So remember, whether it was reopening, whether it be cannabis, these are all fear of the unknown. In order to replace your fear of the unknown, you got to have curious minds. You open up yourself. Are we talking about medical cannabis? Are we talking about CBD? You can let fear rule your lives, or you can be, become a child. Is this alternative medicine gonna help my child? Become childlike with curiosity, push boundaries, leap away from your comfort zone, and accept what life puts before us. Definitely, one person caring about another's life is the greatest value. So that ends my presentation. I hope you learned a lot. I'm here. I'm going to open up Q&A if there's any questions, or we can dive into charts or more charts, whatever you want. Are there questions or none? May mga tanong ba?
Walang tanong.
No question. Charts.
Chart.
Gusto ba? What's the target price for spot? Okay, okay, sige, let's discuss those things. Spotify and Chinese stocks keep falling. Okay, so Chinese stocks were really falling this week because of a Senate bill that got passed. We said we like Alibaba, Baidu, but you notice that, okay, let's go to the charts now. So most of the Chinese names are falling 1 to 2% because of that news that the Senate passed the bill that could delist these exchanges. Now, I've heard this story before. This is the reason why Alibaba listed in Hong Kong in the first place. You shouldn't be scared, especially tonight. Alibaba's going to report their earnings, which is an e-commerce and cloud play, and owning everything from Alipay. Alibaba owns Ant Financial. People are talking about the delisting. So 220 went to about 210. That drop is about 2 to 3%. I don't care if if there are some people who wants to sell their Alibaba down to 200. That is actually an opportunity for you to buy. This is a long-term uptrend. Alibaba should be fine. Now, Baidu of course reported great earnings. In fact, after the earnings quarter, it went as high as 119. After your Senate bill call, take note that this 119 is a resistance. So naturally, people have their vested interest to take profit after this is a 3-day 20% move. Actually, this is a 4-day, 95 to 120. That's more than 25% move. So some traders short-term would sell. But fundamentally, we discussed Baidu as a good company. We discussed Baidu in one of our earnings preview. Yeah, so I would like to be an entry point, this AI company. I like AI, robots. This one, I'd like an entry. We already made a buy call at 95 to 99, and we're willing to add more from 100 to 108. So actually, the drops at 108 intraday we entered, added more. And then, yeah, so really depends if you know the company story. But Baidu also said that they want to get out of NASDAQ and they will go to Hong Kong. Baidu already talked to a Hong Kong Stock Exchange, so it's very possible that Baidu goes there. What else? So
what happens pag ganon, Nikki? So all your stocks would just
no problem. Your Baidu from 100 from US will become Hong Kong. When you sell it, you've got Hong Kong dollars. You can sell it in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. All the people who have interactive brokers, don't worry. Interactive brokers is international. So what will happen is, example, let's say I have 1,000 Baidu shares. Interactive brokers will change it to 1,000. Let's say the ticker symbol of Baidu there is 8888. He'll get 1,000 shares, 8888. and it's gonna be equivalent. So nothing, no change. Whether 1,000 shares is equivalent to 500 Hong Kong dollar shares for that, it's fine. It's the same. So nothing to worry about.
Okay.
That's what happened with Baba. I'll show you Alibaba. This is Alibaba in Hong Kong. Now, the reason why Chinese stocks are falling is not just because of the Senate bill. As I said, Hong Kong Stock Index fell today 4%. This is a 4% drop because, so take note, this used to be your support, now it's resistance at 25,000. Hong Kong Stock Exchange fell because China is insisting that there are one country with one system, not two systems. It's actually here, Hong Kong, China, security laws. It's the headline today. So China moving to impose controversial Hong Kong security law. Yeah, so everyone is talking about the saddest day in Hong Kong history. Yeah, so China feels that they own Hong Kong, and Hong Kong is sad about it. More than 5% drop pala. Oh, yun. So that's really one of the reasons why Chinese stocks are falling. Not fundamental, but because of a macro political situation. For Spotify, so we said that we like the exclusivity. I would hold on to it. So this is actually already an all-time high. We gave a talk buying at about 150 below. We talked about this on the earnings call. So far, I think what's gonna happen here is you're gonna try to break this 198. You'll see from, some people would be short-term nature. They're probably gonna take profit after this increase. This is about 6 days run up. The entry point we got about 150, 145. We got it here. After earnings call. I covered this May 7. I called it Spotify Netflix of audio. It's in our Awesome 10X website. Okay, I'll just share to everyone who's just tuned in. You didn't know that we have this product. So for everyone who didn't know, we have this course wherein you could see all of our videos. You can watch it. You can learn a lot. You go to our core training sessions. You go to our inner circle. You know, whether you're a newbie or you're or very, very much familiar already with things. The good thing about this is that we share you 1 hour videos every day. So SE, the Paranakan version of Tencent, did very well. C Limited actually is still trading at all-time highs. For Spotify, we don't have a sell rating. I think Spotify can go as much as $250. So just, if it drops, 165 and 175 are re-entry points. You want to buy more. So yeah. So C Limited, we also covered this early on. I gave buy points before at 40, 50, and even reiterated buys even at 60. The reason why we like it, of course, is Shopee, Garena, blah, blah, blah. This rose another 10% last night, 7% because of the $1 billion convertible securities. Yeah, so good news for everyone, diba? Hindi pa ba? Yeah, so we have a lot of winners. So I would like you guys to enter our classes. If you like our classes now, what more if you listen to all of our classes every day? It's a good way to learn even for a month if you want to just brush up. Nun. So if there's no questions,
Pan W may tanong, Pan W.
Palo Alto Network is cybersecurity. After market hours, it closed at 246. So this is an all-time high. Parang mag-all-time high. Cybersecurity, yeah. So so that was earnings play. It was rising already. This is already a V-shaped recovery. The earnings validated that people are definitely more secure. Syempre, people are spending a lot on cybersecurity these days due to remote work. So I wouldn't enter now from a risk-reward perspective. I wouldn't enter now, but you want to have it maybe if it gives you a setup.
Pero nag-resistance, no? Yun yung tanong ni Melvin after earnings report.
I think most people are always betting that the earnings is good, especially for this. Palo Alto is a COVID-proof name. So cybersecurity stocks could have some resistance at 260. I'm not so sure kasi usually like for mga good names, example like Facebook or Shopify, diba? V-shape then all-time high. Facebook can still go 252, right? Shopify is, still going up. Broke 770, went 800. In general, these winners are very hard to sell. I think what's gonna happen lang is even if Palo Alto Networks goes resistance in 250, you're not sure that it will fall to 225 or 220, diba? Take a look at reopening. Example, Nike. Nike is probably resistance here at 96. We gave a buy here at 85, 86, and we wanted to buy more at 77. But the reopening efforts of because Moderna vaccine went out this week, dire-diretso, diba? So, dire-diretso means going up. Okay, so in general, even the worst hits, like take a look what happened. Chipotle, V-shape, all-time high. So the way I see it, the USA is so strong. A lot, even the bad sectors are rising, di ba? Take a look. Starbucks, McDonald's. I'm gonna show even the bad news. Now, I think like next week, Capri is going up because of the reopening efforts. But next week is earnings, and I'm sure earnings are not good for retailers. So it will fall again. So you just have to know what companies am I buying? Are they in the good sector or in the bad sector? Reopening efforts made Disney go up 9%. But I think like these names, even if you open NBA and everything, 70% of their revenues comes from outside. You really have to see whether the reopening efforts will succeed. So if it succeeds, Disney can go as high as $130. In general, I prefer personally to trade the bad names. When I consider bad names, Disney is a bad name. In this world, theme parks, that's a bad name. Comcast is a bad name. But it doesn't mean that you won't make money. In fact, we make more money in bad names. For instance, SGMS went 40%, diba, in just 5 days. This is something that we made money from. Casino, Pen. And take a look, that's like 500%, more than 400% already. Where were our big gainers? Shentra, take a look. We were covering this even here at 180. Now it's about 370, more than 100%. I think the point here is that you have to know your entry points more than anything. And the companies that you buy are names that you like, not just because you've heard about it. Like even if, let's say, you like Charlotte's Web. Let's say I discuss Charlotte's Web. You don't have it yet. What will you do? Sorry, wrong Charlotte's Web is in Toronto. If you don't have it, you want to enter near here man lang, 660. Of course, the Chinese names are falling, right? You're saying Chinese names are falling. Alibaba and Pinduoduo are reporting tonight. Now, I think the drop of Pinduoduo is normal. Take a look, just 2 weeks ago, 44 to 67, it was running up more than 50% before the earnings call. So that means that everyone is pricing in e-commerce yan. It's probably gonna be, beat the earnings out the top. So some people would sell on the move, like they're selling at 65 because their cost is just here, not even here. Diba? Even if you just bought a week ago. Diba? Think about it that way. There will be short-term traders and there will also be people who would buy all these e-commerce names.